If you look at the world right now, online and offline, you see a lot of things moving quickly, a lot of fast moving objects, opinions, trends, content, energy everywhere. Most people are responding to the pace instead of pausing to ask, what am I actually creating and what am I leaving behind? Now, if you're like me, I'm currently in a season of reflecting and releasing. I just had a conversation yesterday with a beautiful woman, and we talked about rising in the seasons and the winds of change. And a lot of that stayed with me from the conversation, the impact, the memory of where I once was and who I've become and who I continue to become throughout the seasons and the winds of change as I continue to rise like a phoenix. And it brought me to this today. Why not just do it now? So here we are. Hi, my name is Diana Pequeño, and this is Elevated Conversations. Welcome to my new channel, and welcome to a brand new podcast. I've been stepping back recently, taking space from certain rooms and groups online, conversations, even platforms on the web. And what I've noticed is important. Stepping back doesn't mean taking away from impact. It means giving yourself enough clarity to find the frequency where your work can land and fully be recognized for what it really is and for who you really are. If you have ever felt like you're swimming against the current or that your energy isn't landing in the way that you want, this is exactly why. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You don't need help. You're just operating on a different frequency than the world around you. And it comes down to alignment. Today's focus on this official first episode of Elevated Conversations is on how to anchor your own signal and create space for clarity and truth, both online and offline. It's about stepping back from the noise, not to disengage, but to allow alignment, presence, and impact to emerge naturally again or to begin with in your life. This is less about what you see happening around you, and it's more about the energy you choose, and you do have a choice. The energy you choose to hold, and how that energy can reveal what matters most for you and the people who you are here to connect with. Here's what I realized. This isn't about me. This is about creating a container where clarity and truth can emerge. I'm not here to be the focus. I have never wanted to be the primary focus. I have always had fear of being on stage in front of a camera, speaking in front of large groups. And yet, here I am. But the primary focus, the real reason for all of this, is because I'm here to hold space so that others can recognize themselves more clearly. So here's a shift that I have made in the last several months to the last year. It's a subtle shift, but it's very important to me. I've been observing how I move in this world, but the power comes when I turn it to you. So if you have ever felt overwhelmed, like your voice isn't landing, know that it's not failure, it's a signal. And know that when we bring it all together and we take a step back, we pause and we create space, alignment emerges naturally. And that's the difference between speaking for attention and speaking as an instrument. I'm still learning this, but this is what I want to share with you today. So I was reminded of something in the last year and a half through lived experiences. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room to be heard. You don't need applause to be visible. When you anchor in your signal authentically, the right people, whether it be your clients, collaborators, friends, family, the right signal, that frequency will recognize itself and you attract it. That's where alignment happens. That's where the transformation begins. And here's something to reflect on. As I step back from the energy drains, whether they're online or offline, and I decided to finally speak my truth in ways that I was authoritative and more outspoken, more me in ways that I've not been in years, maybe if ever. Unapologetically, again. Centered, clarity, not ego. I noticed who resonated naturally. Those are my people, and those are your people too. The people who love and appreciate you and respect your authentic nature are not going to be offended by your truth. If they are, that's a them problem, not a you problem. This is going to be a little difficult for various people to work through because coming from personal experience, it was something that I had to evolve into. I wasn't comfortable years ago with making other people feel uncomfortable. I was very much a people pleaser and I wanted to make everybody happy. And I wanted to be present and available and likable. But what I've also learned is that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. What is that phrase? Because I'm champagne? It's something that you have to eventually adapt to and become confident and own because that is your true essence. That is your power. This work isn't about being seen. It's not about being a celebrity. It's about being a signal so others can see themselves. That's the work. That's the real power. And that's where lasting impact lives. That's where I choose to live. If you're only ever operating in polish mode, if you're only ever operating in perfection mode, who are you truly beneath the noise? Who are you before everyone told you who you should be? That's where the work begins and continues to evolve. Conversations like this with yourself can be hard. And they should be, because they should be brutally honest. So honest that it cuts to the core, away from all of the unnecessary BS. The noise above the world, all the surface stuff. So if you are currently someone who is in a season of change, a season where you are releasing the old, a season of the phoenix, where you're burning to the ground everything that no longer serves you so you can rise above all of it and begin again. It starts by observing the noise versus what really matters. Notice what pulls your attention without adding meaning. Know what you need to release. Know what should come with you in your future and what needs to be left behind. Address everything that you refuse to do or remove in order to become the person that you desire to be in your future. Whether it's performative energy, hype, chasing, hustle culture, if it's not in your future way, then it doesn't need to stay. That's your power. Then position yourself or reposition yourself. Stand for what matters. Show up in alignment. There are some things that are worth fighting for, and there are some things that are not worth fighting about. So pick your battles and choose wisely. Let your presence carry the message instead of your words alone. Energy says everything, and sometimes you have to say nothing at all. Let your energy just carry you. This conversation is not about exclusion. This is not about cutting people off. This is not about removing people from your life. This is about alignment. The people who resonate with your energy and your future self will naturally step forward. Everyone will find their new space and your new energetic being. So if you're with me so far and you're still listening, I'd like you to pause for just a second and notice where you've been broadcasting for attention and where you've actually been holding space for clarity. What would it look like to show up from alignment instead of from the noise? Whether you're making a New Year's resolution or setting an intention this year, whether it's a new year, new me, or stepping into that main character energy, this is the identity shift you've been manifesting. You owe it to your future self to evolve. It's time to rise. Hey there, thanks for tuning in to watch my very first raw, real, and on the fly episode of Elevated Conversations here on the Live Love channel. My name is Diana. I'm happy that you're here. If you've been thinking about something, starting something, beginning again, beginning something new, do it. It's the new year, new you, new transformation, new identity. This channel is dedicated to conscious thinking, mindset, flow state, um, just a whirlwind of things that we're going to cover. I'm going to be inviting guests on the podcast here very shortly, so we'll be diving deep. So if you enjoyed this type of content, please do your thing, like, follow, share, tune in for the next episode. And if there's any type of topic that you want to specifically talk about or engage in, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget, it's time to rise. I'll see you soon.